Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Pleasure to welcome you to this Info Day session of the Cluster 6. This is the cluster dealing with food, bioeconomy, natural resources, agriculture, and environment. And we are going to cope in this session with Destination 4. If you can, colleagues, also go to the next slide. So this is the destination which is dealing with the circular economy and bioeconomy sector. So let me first present myself. My name is Panos Balabanis. I am the head of sector with the water sector within the circular economy and Biobased unit in DG Research and Innovation. And so, as I said, in this session, we're going also to give you an overview of the two calls. One call is the Circ Bio 01, which is one stage call. And then we have the Circ Bio 02, which is a two-stage call. If you go to the next slide, so this is, as I said, is about Destination 3, if just in case that I made a mistake, a small mistake. So I would like just to, this is very important, this session is also about to provide you also the opportunity to provide also some questions. Of course, we will start our session with presenting a series of topics in several batches, and then once we have made also the presentations, then we will also open a question and answer session for discussion. So we would like also to invite you to attend also this session, and in order to do this, you have also to connect with the Slido. We are going to use the Slido application to ask this question. So please go to this application. So insert the code of the event that it is displayed also in this slide. And then we can also, we have also to select the destination. So this is the Destination 3, Circular Economy Bioeconomy Sector, or you can also use and scan also the QR code. What is important when you make questions, please also indicate before introducing the question the topic identifier. For instance, if you would like to ask a question for the topic 05, put 05 before and then put also your question. So we will try also to reply in the majority of the questions. If there are too many questions, of course, we will try also to select, and then I would like also with a very good team to thank the team helping us also in the question, slide the question, and then we will have the most interesting ones. But of course, if there are questions not resolved or replied, so please don't hesitate after the event also to send also to the frequently to the inquiry, dedicated inquiry for that. Next slide, please. So, as I mentioned, this is the call on this call targets, as I said, you know, the climate neutral circular bioeconomy transition. And these topics, the topics under this call are distributed in the 4 headings that you can see here. The first heading covers the safe integrated circular solution of territorial and sectorial also levels. This is related to important material flows and product value chain, such as textiles, you know, electronics, plastic and construction sectors. So we aim here at least to have less waste and more value by extending also the lifetime and retaining the value of products and materials. The second heading of this call covers the key bioeconomy sector, such as sustainable bio-based systems, small-scale rural bio-based solutions, notably in primary production, forestry, and aquatic also value chain. The bio-based innovation lays the foundation for the transition away from a fossil-based carbon-intensive economy by encompassing the sustainable sourcing, industrial and small-scale processing and conversion of biomass from land and sea into circular bio-based materials and products with reduced carbon and environmental footprint. Let us remember that the potential of biological resources goes beyond biomass processing into renewable products. It includes also the use of organisms and their parts in more environmentally friendly bio-based industrial processes. The third heading of this destination also covers the multiple function of EU forests. So this is in particular very important in the 22 call. We didn't have topics in the 21 call of proposals. So the multifunction and sustainable management of European forests, as well as the environmentally sustainable use of wood and wood biomass as a raw material, have a crucial role to play in achieving also the EU's climate and energy policies, also helping the transition to a circular and sustainable economy, as well preserving also the biodiversity and also water resources and providing also important ecosystem services. And the fourth heading, this is also very important, covers the blue economy and biotechnology value chains innovation. We know that marine and land-based biotechnology can provide new sustainable and safe food and feed production methods, green and industrial products and processes, new health-related products, and can help also to characterize, monitor, and sustain the health of marine and terrestrial ecosystems. Next slide, please. Here you can see a bit, the policy context, but I think what is also very important is the intervention logic. I think as you understand, as you are probably aware, this is very important. This is an important element of the Horizon Europe Work Program. So this allows us also to link also the proposals, the topics, the expected outcomes of the proposals with the policy context, but the important impacts of to be addressed by this destination. So European Green Deal is the main policy area, but of course also a range of other initiatives which are highlighted there are very, very important. And as you can see, under this call, the expected impacts, the proposal should also set out a credible pathway to develop also circular economy bioeconomy sectors, achieving sustainable circular management and use of natural resources, as well as prevention and removal of pollution, try to unlock the full potential and benefits of the circular economy, the bioeconomy, and also ensuring competitiveness and guaranteeing healthy soil, air, fresh marine water for all through the understanding of planetary boundaries also, and wide deployment and market uptake of innovative technologies and other solutions, notably in the bio-based systems. And what is important is that here you have also the impact areas of the strategic plan, which are also highlighted here. Important also to look for the climate change mitigation, adaptation, but also about growth and job also opportunities. Next slide, please. Then in the here you can see the expected impacts of this call. I think this is very important. We look on regional, rural, local, urban and consumer-based transitions toward a sustainable, regenerative, inclusive and just circular economy, bioeconomy across all regions of Europe. We look about industrial sustainability, improve consumer and citizen benefits, the multifunctionality management of forests in Europe. This is very important. And then, of course, enlarge potential of marine and freshwater biological resources and blue biotechnology. Next slide, please. Here you can have also an information about the budget and the distribution of this budget between also the different headings. You can see here that we have there are 31 million euros for the subheading enabling a circular economy transition. We have 74 million for the bio-based also sector and bioeconomy. We have 19 million for the safeguarding the multiple function of EU forest, and then for the blue economy, bioeconomy, biotechnology, we have 18 million. And here also you can see that we have, of course, the majority of the actions. There are research. We have 6 research and innovation actions, 5 innovation actions, and 2 also coordination and support actions. The next slide, please. And I think this also I would finish also my introduction. So I would like also to thank you also for your attention. We will now pass to the next stage with the presentation. And here, as I said, don't hesitate. Also, you have also the QR code also for the questions. So I would like now to invite my colleagues, my colleague Petros Mamalis, to present also the first topic. Petros, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Panos. Good morning to everyone. Today I have the pleasure to present to you one of the upcoming Horizon Europe topic that is called Circular Cities and Regions Initiatives Project Development Assistance, CCRI PDA. It's a coordination support action, and from now on, I'll mention the topic as a PDA for the sake of time. If we move to the next slide, I'll give you the policy context. This topic addresses the European Green Deal, Circular Economy Action Plan, the Industrial Strategy, SME Strategy, Bioeconomy Strategy, Urban Agenda for the EU, and the Circular Cities and Regions Initiative, named CCRI. Let me draw your attention to the fact that one of the eligibility criteria is that proposals funded under this topic have to cooperate with CCRI and participate in the CCRI's events. Applicants have to acknowledge and integrate these obligations into their proposal. There are several outcomes to be achieved, such as PDA projects. Results are expected to contribute to the delivery of a series of sustainable circular economy projects and innovative financing solution schemes at local and regional scale across Europe. If we move to the next slide, we'll see that the purpose of the PDA is to help project promoters develop their circular economy projects and to bring together the technical, economic, and legal expertise needed for developing circular economy investment projects at local and regional scale. The PDA should provide support for those activities necessary to prepare and mobilize finance for investment projects, such as feasibility studies, stakeholder and community mobilization, business plans, and preparation for tendering procedures. One of the key issues is that proposals could address the development or replication and implementation of innovative financing schemes for circular economy investments at local and regional scale. The economic sectors involved in each PDA service should be selected according to the local and or regional. Proposals should clearly focus their activities on the launch of significant circular economy investments at local and regional scale. The total indicative budget for the topic is 10 million euros, and the topic focuses on small and medium-sized circular economy investments of up to 20 million euros. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you very much, Petros, for the presentation. So we will now pass to the topic 0102, and then I have the pleasure also to invite my colleague Thomas Kalikovsky also to make this presentation. Thomas, the floor is yours. Thank you.
Yes, good morning. Indeed, it is my pleasure to introduce the topic 0102, which is devoted to marginal lands and climate resilient and biodiversity friendly crops for sustainable industrial feedstocks and related value chains. And importantly, this topic is an innovation action. So we can go to the next slide, please. Yes, indeed, this topic contributes to the European Green Deal and also to the bioeconomy strategy. Then, as a policy context, we should mention that it contributes also to the concept of biorefining, so plant-based biorefining. And the main principle here is to leave more land available for biodiversity protection and also substitution, also to allow substitution of fossil-based resources with bio-based resources. It also contributes to the concept of industrial sustainability, competitiveness, and resource independence of European industry. And the main principle here is to lower the environmental footprint to enable climate neutrality and high resource efficiency. And very importantly for this topic, engagement of all stakeholders in especially biotechnology-based value chains is of central importance. So here, as terms of expected outcome, the proposal should identify co-benefits, potential risks, and upscaling potential of sustainable biomass production with focus on marginal lands. So this would help to understand the actual available land available for biomass production that can be certified as low ILUC. So this principle in bio-based sectors. And also, as mentioned before, the biodiversity potentials and ecosystem services that can be replicated in Europe are also expected. So this will help improve functional performance of specific value chains and products, and as mentioned, improve also resource efficiency. Here, the cascading use of biomass principle is of importance. Yes, please, let's go to the next slide for the sake of time. I think we have very little time left. And in terms of scope, the enhancing ecosystem services is in scope, also increasing water stress and resilience of land-based systems and water scarcity resilience as well due to climate change. Here, the multi-purpose and optimized biomass production is in scope, and as mentioned before, modern biodiversity, modern biotechnology approaches. Also, the issue of pollinators supporting industrial crops is in scope, and production of specific industrial materials, biochemicals, such as composites, elastomers are mentioned in the scope. Here also the issue of non-competition with food production, so non-edible oil, fiber crops, dryland shrubs, and woody crops are also mentioned here in the scope. This topic is, as mentioned, the innovation action, and €7 million is expected per project, and 14 million is available for the budget. So I think with this, I will pass to the next presentation, I think. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Thomas. Now we'll pass to the next presentation, and I have the pleasure to invite Silvia Maltenati to make this presentation. Silvia.
Thank you very much, Panos, and good morning to everybody. I'm going to present the topic benefits of the transition towards sustainable circular bio-based systems from linear fossil-based, which is a coordination and support action. Next slide, please. So this topic is underpinned by a policy context formed by the European Green Deal and the 2030 Climate Target Plan, and the synergies aiming at fighting the climate change emergency caused by the anthropogenic activities. And this aim can be reached through a systemic change on one side and specific solutions on the other side. And the topic focuses on solutions provided by circular bio-based systems sustainably developed as requested in the bioeconomy strategy to put in place this systemic change. In fact, as one of the specific expected impacts of this destination is replacing carbon-intensive fossil-based systems, this topic will contribute to policies enabling the transition from linear fossil-based systems to circular bio-based systems and to setting priorities. Next slide, please. These results should be achieved by first consolidating knowledge about the environmental, social, and economic impacts of that portion of the EU economy that is currently more linear, carbon-intensive, fossil-based, and about current trends in terms of the intrinsic limits of such economy. Cultural and social limits should also be considered, including barriers related to gender and age. Project should then advance also in understanding circularity versus linearity based on the existing initiatives ongoing, including the Circular Economy Monitoring Framework. Such consolidated knowledge should then deliver multiple scenarios of transitioning from fossil-based to circular bio-based systems, modeling the replacement of the most carbon-intensive fossil-based activities. Project should develop and assess such scenarios in order to identify priorities in the transition, to inform policymakers and also identify related knowledge gaps. The overall budget for the topic is 4 million and suggested 2 million for each project, which shall be a coordination and support action, as said, also involving the effective contribution of social sciences and humanities disciplines. A cross-cutting aspect is the requirement that each project shares methodologies and findings with the other ones funded within this topic. Thank you very much. I give back the floor to Panos. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Silvia. Let's pass to the topic 0104. So pleasure to invite my colleague, Michael Wolf, to present this topic. Michael, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Panos, and good morning, everyone. I'm presenting a topic with a very long title, but hopefully it will also reflect the content. Maximizing economic, environmental, and social synergies in the provision of feedstock for bio-based sectors through diversification and increased sustainability of agricultural production systems. This is innovation action. Next slide, please. So clearly, securing the long-term supply of affordable and also sustainable biomass will be a key challenge for the coming years. We believe that the diversity and the further diversification of farming systems can contribute to a sustainable bioeconomy by securing stable revenues for farmers, lowering negative environmental impacts, and increasing the resilience to climatic, economic, and biological risk. So this topic should contribute to the following outcomes: sustainable primary production systems to diversify income for farmers, while supporting the development of bioeconomies in rural areas, targeted policies at EU, national, and regional level, an improved knowledge of primary producers on co-benefits and potentials, and a better management of the actual available land. Next slide, please. So proposals will here explore alternative systems and designs to improve the overall sustainability of local and regional agricultural production systems. They will also consider the environmental, economic, and social impacts of primary production systems, and also contribute to the characterization of diversity and its relation to expected functions and benefits. They will also develop sustainable diversification strategies that can optimize the production, and they will address different European agricultural production models or sectors with a view to minimize potential land conflicts and in line with agroecological practices. So we have an indicative budget of 8 million. We plan to fund one project. It is important that this is a multi-actor project. The proposals will need to consider contributing data to the JRC. And I will stop here. I wish all potential applicants good luck. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Michael, and please also stay for also the presentation of the next topic, 0105. Again, the floor is yours.
Yes, so the next topic is the EU-China international cooperation on unlocking the potential of agricultural residues and wastes for circular and sustainable bio-based solutions. This is a research and innovation action. Next slide, please. So we know that in agriculture, we generate a lot of co-products, byproducts, and waste streams. And those streams are often not adequately treated in environmental, but also in economic terms. Here we try to address new opportunities, especially for the primary production sector, to make out of a burden an opportunity. So this topic will address several outcomes: a strengthened international cooperation with actors from China, the establishment of bio-based production systems that are optimized in view of sustainability, circular resource use, and also economic viability, an increased resource efficiency, and also increased opportunities for the valorization of waste, by and co-products, which should result in environmental and economic benefits for the farming sector. Next slide, please. So in the scope, you will see...
Dear panelists, indeed, thank you. We already have received a couple of questions. I suggest we start with the questions related to topic 0103. The first question for this topic is, should the focus be on transitions in energy, in materials, or both?
Sylvia, yes, please.
Yes, indeed. The focus of the topic indeed is mostly on the production of materials, and this is better specified in the topic text, indeed. But this is the topic.
Okay,
thank you, Sylvia.
Thank you very much, Sylvia. A next question also for you, because it also relates to topic 0103. Should the project focus on the transition at the overall European level, or rather at a regional level, for example, local value change? Thank you.
Very good question. Indeed, this is not specified because it is an open chance to the applicants to decide whether to, in any case, show and demonstrate that the solution provided in the scenarios are indeed widely applicable. But the limits of the scenarios are not indeed a constraint of the topic.
Okay, thank you very much. Now we move on to topic 0104. Where the question relates to the applicants. Should also applications for the use of the feedstock be part of the project concept?
If I understand the question correct, the question is whether the focus should be rather on the primary production or also the products along the value chain. And here I would say the focus is definitely on primary production. Nevertheless, of course, the solutions should target bio-based products. So if it's included, it is in the scope of the topic.
Okay, thank you. And I have another question related to these topics, to this topic 0104. Must projects contribute to all outcomes mentioned in the call? Thank you.
Yes, this is clearly stated in the topic text.
Okay, then we have a question related to topic 0105. Could you please provide further information on the state of the art regarding the agreements between the EC and MOST? Thank you.
So we have a cooperation with China, and this is called FAB China, and this is one topic of it. We have drafted it together with our Chinese partner. The process is quite clear, so you can, in the next step, there will be another selection by our Chinese partners, and they will fund the Chinese partner of the project. So this is the concept. We don't expect any, let's say, issues. It works quite well. Thank you.
Okay, another question that relates to your topic and links to the previous question. Why is the cooperation with China mandatory? Is there a chance that there is no longer the case in later calls? Thank you.
I mean, we have many topics which are independent from China. So we have this partnership. We are also trying to continue it in future. But this is, of course, if there would be, let's say, issues, we also we have drafted the topic text in a way to make sure, in case that China would not be interested anymore, that the projects still can be funded. But we hope that we can also continue this partnership in future.
Okay, thank you very much. And then linked to this, in the same topic still related to the China cooperation, can you please expand on this cooperation with China? At what levels should the Chinese partners intervene? For example, should they share actions or act in parallel? Thank you.
This is not further defined, so I invite you to carefully read the topic text, which was drafted by together with the Chinese partner. You should find the most efficient way to achieve an impact in this cooperation, but we have not defined this mode of working together.
Okay, thank you, Michael. Now we move on to topic 0101, as we just received a question. Are you making any distinction between collaboration and cooperation with other projects? Thank you.
I consider that the two words have the same meaning, but I take the opportunity to highlight here that one of the additional eligibility criteria in this topic is that it mentions that proposals have to cooperate with CCRI and its coordination service by means of sharing with this initiative knowledge and experience gained through the implementation of the CCRI PDA service. And in the scope also it is highlighted that the PDA will be carried out in close cooperation and coordination with the CCRI. Thank you.
Okay, Petros, thank you very much. We have an additional question for the topic 0103 presented by Sylvia. Does municipal biowaste as feedstock for bio-based products fall within this or other topics of Destination 3? Thank you.
I would say definitely yes. As far as the bio-waste is, of course, collected in order to separate the waste which is of biological origin and which is biodegradable, of course.
Okay, thank you. For the moment, we don't have any additional questions. So back to you, Panos.
Thank you very much, Virle, for the questions, helping on that. So I would then propose now to continue with the next two presentations, and then we will have again a question and answer session. So we were going now to have the next presentation, which is it is about the topic 0106, and then if I'm not mistaken, again, I think Michael, also the floor is yours.
Thank you very much. So this topic title is Strengthening the European Forest-Based Research and Innovation Action. It is a research and innovation action. Next slide, please. So clearly a key challenge for the coming years will be to address the complexity of the forest sector. This means in environmental, economic, and policy terms. A successful transition of the forest-based sector towards greater sustainability needs to be underpinned by a comprehensive scientific assessment. And we need a better coordination of research actions to overcome the fragmentation of public research efforts and to strengthen the links between forest managers, industries, and society to streamline the activities of European, national, and regional stakeholders. So this topic should contribute to several expected outcomes, to better insights into existing funding sources, to the establishment of a co-creative environment, which allows also stakeholders to identify jointly existing research gaps and future priorities, and then also to an intensified transnational research and innovation cooperation. Also, the creation to an open innovation ecosystem with relevant stakeholders. Next slide, please. So in the scope of this topic, proposals will analyze the forest-based sector in an integrated way, thereby considering the biodiversity, bioeconomy, climate, but also biodiversity issues and many others. They will design a suitable method for conducting foresight analysis on issues that are likely to have an impact on forest in future. They will also provide evidence and knowledge on how existing funding sources are mobilized. They will develop a structured framework for a European network of research funding and research policy organizations, and finally develop a research and innovation roadmap at EU level to prepare the ground for a possible European partnership in the second part of Horizon Europe. We have foreseen one project to be funded with an indicative budget of 4 million. This is also a multi-actor project, and also important that potential flagships should be assessed for the future uptake in a possible partnership. I will stop here. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Michael. And then let's also pass to the next topic, which is related to the blue economy. And then I have the pleasure also to invite Miguel Vizas also to present this topic. Miguel, the floor is yours. Thank you.
Hi, good morning, everybody. Thank you very much. Well, I'm going to present the marine microbiome for a healthy ocean and sustainable blue economy. And why? Why this topic? Because the ocean is the Earth's largest microbiome. Microorganisms represent nearly 90% of the ocean biomass and largely determine the functioning and health of the marine ecosystems. They also contain a great variety of metabolic pathways with high potential to value on pharma or industrial compounds or environmental services. Next slide, please. So the action will help to support microbiome-based greener aquatic industrial products or processes and or environmental services, sustaining the health of an aquatic ecosystem for a healthy planet and people. This action is therefore in line with the European Green Deal objectives, with the EU Bioeconomy Strategy, and with the Blue Growth Strategy. In relation to the expected outcomes, this research and innovation action, this action requests a TRL, a technological readiness level between 3 to 5. The expected outcomes are enable the efficient production of high-quality marine microbiome data, increase data interoperability, and facilitate its use by a wide range of stakeholders. Also, improve the capacity building in bioinformatics related to this area. So we expect to increase engagement of all actors in the marine microbiome by discovery pipeline and awareness. Increase, therefore, the awareness of the potential of marine microbiome and proven biodiscovery strategies based on whole microbiome communities. The better protection and sustainable use of marine and genetic bioresources by advancing new intellectual property rights approaches to securing clear access while ensuring fair and equitable sharing of benefits arising from their utilization. Next slide, please. So the scope of this action includes, well, the following points, but I will say that the purpose of the action is to develop novel tools and approaches to produce, analyze, and use marine microbiome data for the discovery and production of high-value sustainable industrial products or processes or environmental services that sustain the health of the aquatic ecosystems. Applicants should address the following points: address the scientific and technological cross-cutting challenges such as new methods to analyze and model microbiome communities, developing standards and common methodologies, ensuring interoperability of databases and infrastructures and enhance networking, and also should address bioprospecting, targeted cultivation strategies beyond lab-grown monoculture, manipulate and bioengineer microbiome products, and ensure open access and benefit sharing. Some other points important into the topic are the collaboration between private industry and academia, and link with the end users and society that are essential. The proponents should assess the risk and ethics and the compliance with the EU regulation on access to genetic resources. Another aspect is training, dissemination, and public engagement that need to be addressed. Additionally, cooperation with proposals under complementary topics, past and going, should be covered. International cooperation is strongly encouraged, and I have to say that sex and gender analysis is not a mandatory requirement under this topic. Finally, just mention that the total indicative budget allocated to this topic is 18 million, estimating that an EU contribution of around 9 million would allow to address the outcomes for 2 projects. Thank you very much, and best luck.
Thank you very much, Miguel. And then let's now have also another round of questions for these last 2 presentations. So again, please don't hesitate to ask questions using the Slido, as it is also indicated in the in this also slide. Let's then, yes, I pass the floor to my colleague Virle for the questions, please.
Thank you, Panos. The first question relates to topic 0106, and the question is, could you please further elaborate on the potential flagships projects? What do you expect? Thank you.
So here I would also again invite to read the topic text very carefully, because you will find some further information also there. The topic text says, assess the potential of flagship projects in selected key strategic areas in the forest-based sector, for example, integrated forest research across several dimensions of sustainable forest management, landscape level integration of forest research at the interface with other sectors, agricultures, cities, water, increased sustainable wood production and mobilization, renewable building materials for healthier living, role of new wood-based products to reach climate neutrality by substitution effects, and contributions of the forest-based sector in the green recovery. So there are several examples given. So the flagships are basically the areas where we would try to identify a future cooperation at transnational level. I think this will depend on the foresight analysis you will do in this topic to identify the exact scope of those flagships. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Michael. And still related to your topic, would reforestation and soil preservation after a forest fire fall under this topic? Thank you.
Clearly, this can be, let's say, part of the overall work, but it's not the main focus. I mean, we are looking here really for a holistic, comprehensive analysis of future priorities. And if reforestation and soil preservation after forest incidents are part of that, that will be fine, but it's certainly not the main focus. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Then we move to topic 0107. The first question relates to the funding and tender portal, where in the topic description it includes cross-cutting priorities, both ocean sustainability and blue economy. Can you please entail a bit more what those requirements request? Thank you.
Yes, thank you very much for the question. So indeed, well, the origin of the research will be on marine or aquatic microbiome. In this sense, well, it's related to the blue economy. So what are the cross-cutting priorities? Well, actions are related to the blue economy and blue economy development at this stage or in a future stage of the results. And ocean sustainability, well, we are targeting actions, well, and research and innovation results that are sustainable. So I mean, well, how to express? I would say that we are researching the microbiome, but we need to keep the sustainability of extraction and all these resources. Well, we need to keep them sustainable in the ocean. So this is the link with these two cross-cutting priorities. Processes to obtain the resources has to be sustainable, and well, they are related to the blue economy.
Okay, thank you very much. Another question relates to the content. Are intertidal zones and saltons regarded as marine environments? Thank you.
Yes, in fact, well, I can respond to these two questions together. Yes, they include this aquatic microbiome. So they include, well, the freshwater aquaculture, the freshwater ecosystems, and also these intertidal environments.
Okay, so with this, the both questions were addressed at the same time. So this means there are no questions left anymore.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Virle, for the handling of these questions. Let's now have, I would propose also to have a short break, about 15 minutes, and then we will come back for the remaining presentations related to the two-stage call. Thank you very much. Please stay together with us. We will be back soon. Thank you. Hello, welcome back to the follow-up session. So just to remind you, we are in destination 3, and we're going now to have also the next presentations. So we will start now with the presentation of the 2-stage related topics. I hope that you can hear me well. I hear a small echo, but I suppose that this would be okay very soon. So let's go to the first presentation, and I would like just to announce that we will have a small change immediately after the presentation of this topic. We will open. We have a question and answer session just for the questions related to this topic. And it seems that we have also a question related to the topic 07, the previous topic that was presented in the previous session. So we will have then this session, and then we will continue with the remaining presentations, and then we will have again the final question and answer session. So I have the pleasure then to invite our colleagues Hans Christian Eber to make this presentation of topic 0201 2 states. Hans Christian, the floor is yours.
Good morning, hello, and many thanks also for the change in the agenda, because I admit I have to leave early because there are COVID cases in my daughter's school class, and that means I have to pick her up as soon as possible. That's why I will take the questions immediately after my presentation. So, the experts, I will talk to you about our 2022 topic Circ Bio 0201 on integrated solutions for circularity in buildings and the construction sector. And I will explain the context and the thought process that led to the adoption of this topic. So if we go to the next slide, the guiding principle behind the circular transition is climate neutrality. Can I have the next slide, please? Whatever we do is in support of the European Green Deal, and it implements the Circular Economy Action Plan. Constructions is a focus area of the Green Deal, which announces a renovation wave for Europe. And also, in the meantime, the Commission launched a new European Bauhaus initiative. This is because construction and housing has social, economic, and environmental dimensions, a relevant magnitude, and a huge potential for sustainable change. What do we want to change? We think that circularity is more than just waste management. A systemic circular transition must address all issues, from material selection, safe and sustainable product design, designed for circularity, via resource efficiency along the value chains to an optimized after-use system. It must also incorporate innovative digital solutions, as circularity requires new forms of data and information management along value chains. And this transition must happen in a safe, non-toxic way, so there are no trade-offs between toxicity and circularity. The sustainability of all actions must be ensured through a life cycle perspective. This is where the product environmental footprint comes in, which is so important that we listed it under the policy context. And all these elements are listed in the 9 expected outcomes that you see on this slide, of which at least 4 must be addressed by each proposal. My key message for you is that we are going beyond waste management, as you can clearly see from this list, and we're really trying to close and slow down the material cycle. And of course, outcomes should also have an impact. And we wrote in the scope of this topic, the proposal should contribute to all destination impacts related to consumers and industry. This would be the European industrial sustainability, competitiveness, and resource independence, but also consumer-based transitions and improve consumer and citizen benefits, very much in line with the European Bauhaus initiative. And on slide 3, I already mentioned how important this sector is, but I want to give you a few figures. The built environment uses up 50% of all extracted materials, and more than 35% of the EU's total waste generation comes from the construction sector. And around 10% of greenhouse gas emissions come from the construction sector in total. And 80% of these emissions could be reduced through greater material efficiency, which means that the interventions that we are planning are very pertinent. On more procedural things and technicalities, this is an innovation action with a high TRL, 6 to 8. And that means we want to see large-scale demonstrations with tangible outcome. And we want to see these outcomes quantified wherever possible, with indicators and targets. More technicalities, the total budget, EU contribution for this is 21 million, which would allow for 3 projects in average. Final word on clustering. There are several construction-related topics in cluster 4, which is more industry and process-oriented. And in particular, there's a section on accelerating disruptive change in construction with a strong digital focus. And we would like to see synergies with the work that's being done there. Also, construction is a territorial dimension, and we would find it great if proposals under this topic would become part of the Circular Cities and Regions initiative. You heard about it in the morning. And therefore, we encourage clustering there as well. And we will also invite, for example, the CCRI CSO to look into activities under this call. And this completes my overview, and I'm there for your questions. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Hans Christian. As we just before, passing to the next presentation. So we would like also to open also the floor for questions related to this particular topic. But before, as you can also see here, perhaps also our colleagues, there was a question related to the previous presentation. If you could please also tell us about this question and.
Thank you, Panos. As currently we have not yet received any question for the presentation just provided by Hans, we indeed will take first the question on topic 0107, where the question relates to the protocol to access genetic resources. Must it be in place or can it be developed or completed under the proposal? Thank you.
Thank you. I think our colleague Miguel is still with us. So Miguel, you have the floor to this question.
Thank you very much, and well, sorry for the delay. I didn't see the question. So related to this question on the access to genetic resources, we consider that the protocol can be developed and completed under the proposal. But nevertheless, it has to be taken into account that the topic specifically requests the proposals to guarantee the preservation of biodiversity and compliance with the EU regulation on access to genetic resources. So it's a positive response that can be developed or further developed and completed, but has to be taken into account during the proposal. Thanks.
Thank you very much. And in the meantime, we received a first question for SilkBio 0201. Does this topic call for technological innovations or rather for systematic innovations? Thank you.
Well, I would say technological innovations are not excluded, but our focus is on systemic change, and I don't think that a mere technological innovation can really deliver on 4 different outcomes as we listed them in the topic description. So I would say it's it's a bit of a gray area, but I mean, the benchmark for us is the list of outcomes, and our orientation is rather our approach is rather systemic than technological.
Okay, thank you very much. No further questions were raised.
Thank you very much. I think that, of course, if I would like to thank also Hans Christian, he has to leave. But if there are additional questions, as I said, you can send your questions in written in the Research Inquiry Service, and then we will also take the opportunity also to reply in the frequently asked questions. Thank you very much. Then let's go to the series now, to the second topic in this two-stage call. And then I have the pleasure also to invite Paraskevi, also Philippoussi, to present this topic. Siliki, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Panos, and good morning to everyone. So I'm going to present to you the topic with the title Exploring Extreme Environments, Novel Adaptation Strategies at Molecular Level for Biobased Innovation, which is actually a research and innovation action. If we go to the next slide, you will see that also this topic has a broad policy context, and more specifically, it addresses the European Green Deal, the Circular Economy Action Plan, and the Bioeconomy Strategy, as well as the Biodiversity Strategy. This is more specifically will contribute into improving the European industrial sustainability, competitiveness, and resource independence, especially if we consider the provision of sustainable biomass as replacement of fossil-based feedstock. This will be done by lowering the environmental footprint, including biodiversity, enabling climate neutrality and high resource efficiency. And here I would like to highlight the fact of promoting the cascading use of biomass and upcycling. Finally, the policy context includes the fact that projects will contribute into engaging all different types of stakeholders in the sense that their knowledge will be improved when it comes to understanding of science and in particular biotechnology. As for the expected outcomes of the projects, there are different levels and the projects should deliver in all 4 outcomes. In the first instance, what we need to see established is a deeper understanding of the molecular, biochemical, and cellular mechanisms of ecological adaptation of terrestrial or aquatic organisms in response to life under extreme or life-changing environments. Then such learnings should be leading into stronger innovation capacity when it comes to discovery, to actually developing routes such as biotechnology routes for having more resilient and innovative feedstocks, contributing eventually to sustainable bio-based products. It's very important that there will be an improved environmental footprint of such novel feedstocks, and that considering a range of sustainable biomass resources, and criteria such as here we have an example of lowered requirements for pesticides or irrigation. And final outcome is to be able to increase the public understanding of the public when it comes to biotechnology, conservation of biodiversity, and the EU biodiversity strategy goals. If we move to the next slide, the scope of the project, relevant to what was mentioned before in the outcomes, is to be able to advance and to actually exploit the knowledge that will be gained by terrestrial and or aquatic organisms, and how their populations adapt when it comes to changes such as, for example, extreme temperatures, water stress, drought, and other biotic pressures, such as new pests. And then such understanding of of adaptation, but also the complex interactions established between the affected populations will eventually lead into viable and sustainable sources of biomass for the production of a number of bio-based products, such as chemicals and different types of materials. Finally, as mentioned before, the aim is to engage with different types of actors, industrial actors, which includes also SMEs, in order to find a way to better implement technical solutions, and in particular solutions that they have to do with biotechnology, and also taking into consideration barriers that they have to do with governance and market aspects. When it comes to the total indicative budget of the project, this is 10 million in total, which could lead to approximately 2 projects. And then important to highlight that when it comes to international cooperation, this is actually strongly encouraged in order to be able to maximize impact. And the projects should try to consider as much as possible previous projects, but also more specifically European partnerships under Cluster 6. And here we highlight the Circular Biobased Europe, CBE, which is the successor of BBI-JU. Thank you very much. And I guess we take the questions at the end, Carlos.
Yes, thank you very much, Paraskevi. Then let's pass to the next presentation. Pleasure also to invite again Silvia Malpilati to make this presentation. Silvia.
Thank you again, Panos, and I'm going to present the topic Sustainable, Biodegradable, Novel Bio-Based Plastics, Innovation for Sustainability and End-of-Life Options of Plastics, which is an innovation action. Next slide, please. So the topic is underpinned by the European Green Deal, the Circular Economy Action Plan, and again the 2030 Climate Target Plan, and the synergies in fighting the environmental challenges caused by anthropogenic activities. This topic focuses on solutions provided by circular bio-based systems sustainably developed as requested in the bioeconomy strategy. And in fact, this topic will contribute to one of the expected impacts of the destination deploying bio-based solutions. In this case, bio-based plastics value chains with improved functionalities, including biodegradability and improved environmental performances, such as less toxicity of processed substances and lower waste production and better product safety control along the whole value chain. Next slide, please. These results will be achieved in projects developing novel, sustainable bio-based plastics, which are at the same time mechanically recyclable and able to biodegrade at desired time rates in composting or anaerobic digestion or home composting installations, or able to degrade in situ, that is, in open environments, depending on specific applications and environmental conditions. The environmental sustainability of such plastics should base on the sustainability of the biological feedstock used in the manufacturing and on innovative production processes and safety control. The biodegradability should be tested in specific environments considered in the project as available end-of-life option further than the mechanical recyclability. And finally, the project should demonstrate the scaled-up production process and cost competitiveness. The overall budget for the topic is 12 million and suggested 6 million for each project, which shall be an innovation action, reaching technological level 7 to 8 by the end of the project. Finally, a cross-cutting aspect is the requirement that projects share methodologies and findings with the other ones funded within this topic and build on past projects, and that they take a multidisciplinary approach. The outcomes of the projects should be considered to contribute eventually to the European Commission Knowledge Center for Bioeconomy. Thank you. I give back the floor to Panos Panavanis.
Thank you, Silvia. Let's pass to the next the presentation, and then I have the pleasure again, Thomas Kalikowski, to make this presentation. Thomas, the floor is yours.
Yes, good morning. I have a pleasure to present the topic on photosynthesis, called Photosynthesis Revisited, Climate Emergency, No Pollution and Zero Emission Challenge and Industrial Application, which is a research and innovation action. So we can go to the next slide, please. Yes, so this topic is also part of Destination 3, circular economy and bioeconomy sector. So here, similarly to previous projects or topics, the context that we operate also contributes to European Green Deal, the Circular Economy Action Plan, and also the economy strategy. And here also there is a strong connection to the industrial sustainability, competitiveness, and resource independence of Europe, and this is due to the possibility to provide sustainable biomass, substituting fossil-based industrial feedstocks. And more specifically for this topic, this is to contribute via biotechnological innovation, and also moving to the expected outcomes of the topic, to apply molecular biology and biotechnology to increase photosynthetic efficiency of plants, but also including algae and other autotrophic organisms for higher assimilation of carbon dioxide, to increase biomass, but also to recover and produce substances and materials of economic interest, and also eventually to contribute to climate change mitigation and adaptation. So in the end, the expected outcome of this topic is to increase industrial uptake of plants and autotrophic organisms, again via biotechnological approaches, and then to produce high-value complex molecules. So we expect that this will contribute to higher engagement of industry and especially SMEs in Europe, and also will contribute to higher understanding and application of biotechnology. And especially for this topic, the issue of air pollution comes in this place, especially ozone, as we know that this issue is connected especially to heat waves and environmental stress of plants that is increasing. So this is also expected in this topic. And finally, the inclusive participation and also understanding awareness of all stakeholders and the social dialogue is included here. So we can go to the next slide. And indeed, when it comes to scope of this topic, boosting efficiency of photosynthesis, reduction of climate, what is called climate penalty of plants, so the issue of ozone pollution, and also increasing sustainable industrial application is in scope. As mentioned before, all autotrophic organisms are covered here, so plants, microalgae, also cyanobacteria and purple sulfur bacteria are in scope. What is important to mention is that biofuels, bioenergy applications are excluded, and this is because these applications are covered in different parts of Horizon Europe, namely in Cluster 5 of Horizon Europe. However, in scope, important are the key aspects of environmental and safety for the developed solutions, and also process and product safety, especially occupational and consumer safety aspects, in line with national and European regulations. And again, inclusiveness and transparent participation of all actors is requested here. So the indicative budget of topic is 10 million euro, and 5 million per project is expected. Also for this topic, international cooperation is strongly encouraged to maximize the impact, and also connecting to previous and ongoing research projects is strongly encouraged to maximize the impact. And with this, I will finish and wish all applicants success in this topic. Thank you very much. Back to you, Panos.
Thank you very much, Thomas. Let's now pass to the next presentation. Pleasure also to invite our colleague Paloma Mallorquin also to present this topic. Paloma, the floor is yours.
Good morning. I'm pleased to take you into the topic life sciences and their convergence with digital technologies for prospecting, understanding, and sustainably using biological resources. This is a research and innovation action. Next slide, please. If you look at the policy context, the main reference for this topic is again the European Green Deal and the related policies and strategies supporting this transition of the EU economy, namely the Circular Economy Action Plan, the Industrial Strategy, and the Bioeconomy Strategy. What do we want to achieve with this topic? To improve the European industrial sustainability, competitiveness, and resource independence, in particular by providing sustainable biomass by digital-based innovation, to lower environmental footprint, enabling climate neutrality and higher resource efficiency, in particular bio-based products, and to engage all stakeholders, in particular SMEs, and improve their understanding of biotechnology-based value chains. Proposals under this topic are expected to contribute to all the three expected outcomes listed in the topic text, and we are looking for projects that use the full potential of artificial intelligence application for prospecting, understanding, and sustainably use of biological resources within safe planetary boundaries, projects that develop digital tools, sensors, and methods for improved efficiency, climate change adaptation, and sustainability of industrial process in the bio-based sector, integrating the needs of stakeholders in innovative engineering solutions, and projects that enable and enhance monitoring, reporting, and management of natural resources using artificial intelligence and other digital technology applications. Next slide, please. Looking into the scope, proposals should enable prospecting, understanding, and sustainable use of biological resources based on their convergence with digital technologies, identify and characterize advanced technologies, including artificial intelligence and their benefits for the innovation in the bio-based system, to develop integrated biological designs and data models for improved prospecting, understanding, and deployment of higher efficiency and sustainability of biological resources and industrial bio-based operations, including bioinformatics, biosensors, bioindicators, data analysis, and all the related omic technologies, and develop improved models and model standards on synthetic systems, meaning synthetic biology, and of their interaction with the host organism to facilitate more successful engineering and broader application in the bio-based sectors. If we look at the numbers, the indicative budget is €6 million per project of EU contribution, with a total budget of €12 million for this topic. It's important that you know that your proposal should consider the contribution with data and results to the European Commission Knowledge Center for Bioeconomy hosted by the JRC. And with this, I will finish my presentation. Thank you very much.
Thank you also, Paloma. And then let's have now the last presentation, the presentation of the last topic, which is related to the forest. And this Michael Wolf again will make this presentation. Michael, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Panos. And again, good morning to everyone. So I am introducing now the topic harnessing the digital revolution in the forest-based sector, which is an innovation action. Next slide, please. So the improved use of information flows and intelligent digital solutions are increasingly available in forest monitoring, management, and forestry operations. And they can help to improve and unlock the efficiency of wood supply chain activities. So modern digital applications provide also promising possibilities to improve forest managers' decision-making in the precious and complex forest environment. So this topic will contribute again to several expected outcomes. The deployment of information and communication technology innovations in forestry to optimize the productivity, but also to deliver better ecosystem services. To the application of innovative approaches along the forest-based value chain by accurate tracing methodologies of forest resources, and also to a greater competitive advantage for the European industries. Next slide, please. So here in the scope, you will see that proposals should address innovations in information systems for forest managers, forest-based industries, and policymakers. The aim is here to use or to encourage the synergetic use of geospatial, statistical, and modeling technologies together with information and communication technologies such as aerial and satellite retrievals and the Web of Things, and combined with big data analytics. The aim is to harness the potential of new technologies with a view to sharing data in the wood value chain, thereby driving greater sustainability and also to develop new business models. Besides activities such as prototyping, testing, demonstrating and piloting, proposals should also include certain research activities. And here of special interest for us is to see or to understand better the economic, social and environmental impacts of such technologies, including the assessment of risk and opportunities for jobs in forestry and the forest-based. What is important to know is that we have an indicative budget of 15 million in total. So we would expect to fund 2 projects with a budget of between 6 and 8 million each. It's also important to know that this is a multi-actor approach project. And when using infrastructures, the European-owned Copernicus or Galileo, etc., should be preferred. And JRC may participate as a member of the consortium. I will stop here. I wish all potential applicants good luck. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Michael. I think that we have also completed the presentation of the second stage. And then we'll have the pleasure again to open this questions and answer session. So please, I think there are already some questions, but of course, don't hesitate using the Slido to make additional questions. And then I pass the floor to my colleague Virl to handle these Slido questions. Virl, thank you.
Thank you, Panos. Indeed, we received a couple of questions related to topic 0202, so we will start with a couple of them. The first question is, could you clarify the meaning of feedstock and biomass in this topic? Thank you.
Yes, I think basically, to my understanding, it refers to the same thing like biomass feedstock. So the project overall looks into applying, let's say, principles from the different organisms, aquatic or terrestrial, in order to obtain more sustainable biomass feedstock. So I'm not sure if I understand the question maybe very well.
Okay, thank you very much. If not clear, maybe the applicant can submit a follow-up question related to this. We move to the next question. Do the biotechnology approaches also include the possibility to use cisgenesis?
I don't think there is a specific reference within the call text on different techniques. It leaves it open to different biotechnology approaches. So I would say that then it's up to the applicant, unless also my colleague Thomas Kalikowski has a more specific comment on that.
Yes. Very quickly, I think indeed, as we heard, all biotechnological approaches are possible in this topic. So I would say that indeed this specific example is also covered here. Thank you.
As it is at the moment.
Okay, thank you very much. Another question for the same topic. Could you please provide some examples of environmental footprints?
Yeah, again, this is left quite open, and within the call text, there is a specific reference as an example. They mention lower requirements, for example, for pesticides or irrigation. But other than that, I think there are no other specific examples.
Okay, thank you. Then we move to the next question, still under the same topic. Are microorganisms included in the terrestrial and aquatic organisms mentioned in the first outcome? Thank you.
Yeah, that's. I think there should be in the scope. Again, there is no broader definition within the call text on what is meant by terrestrial and aquatic organisms. But I think it should be covered unless unless there is another comment by one of my colleagues. But from what I have seen in the topic, there is no specific definition. So I would say it should be included.
Okay, thank you very much. And then the last question related to your topic. Could you please clarify whether the proposals should address terrestrial and aquatic, or only one of them, so only terrestrial or only aquatic organisms? Thank you.
Yeah, that's a good question. It mentions for terrestrial and aquatic organisms, but on the other hand, if you read within the call, within the scope, I think it says to justify the choice of any selected organisms and system. So I think if there is one which is only terrestrial or aquatic, in any case, it should be justified of why the specific organism has been chosen. And then also to specify the characteristics of the environmental stimuli that are being covered. So I think, yeah, if one is chosen, just justify quite well why it is the case.
Okay, thank you very much. Then we move on to the next topic, which concerns topic 0203. What is expected in the project to comply with the cross-cutting of the ocean sustainability and the blue economy? Thank you.
Yes, I may reply on that, saying that indeed the topic addresses the matter of biodegradability of plastics. Indeed, as said, biodegradability either in controlled environments like composting facilities or anaerobic digestion or home composting, and or in situ degradation. And in any case, the biodegradation of plastics is somehow linked with the ocean, not sustainability, but environmental challenges because of the amounts of microplastic found in the oceans and in the seas and in the water bodies in general. So we would like to understand better how to develop a biodegradability of plastic, of bio-based plastic, in a way that we know the rate of biodegradation of such plastics in the environment, and in order also to fill some gaps in the knowledge about the contribution of the non-biodegradable plastics to the microplastic pollution, and on the other side to understand if there is a possibility that a bio-based plastics which is environmentally sustainable and can be, of course, mechanically recyclable, but also that has the property of biodegrading the environment, can in any case contribute addressing the problem of microplastic pollution in the oceans.
Okay, thank you very much, Sylvia. As we have already dealt with some questions of topic 0202, I will first give the floor to the other topics. We start with the topic 0204. Are tools based on chip technologies as used in drug development to speed up development also included? Thank you.
Yes, I think it is an interesting possibility. There is nothing in the scope that would prevent this option, so this is indeed an interesting possibility. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. And then we first deal with the question on topic 0205. What is meant by biosensor organisms for the lab, animal and field? For example, are biosensor developments included as well?
Hi, hello. So, yeah, indeed, biosensor development are included. Since the topic provides additional info on the examples of this convergence between the digital technologies and life sciences, but it's not an exhaustive list, and it's up to the applicant to provide and to come with a solution. And of course, these biosensor developments are even mentioned in the topic there. So definitely yes.
Okay, thank you very much. Then we have a last question for the moment on topic 0202. What is your understanding of an extreme environment? Thank you.
Yes, thanks for the question. There is also a reference with more specific examples there within the call text. So that refers, for example, to extreme temperatures, to low water concentrations, drought basically, or other extreme conditions such as high salinity or other increased biotic pressures, for example, the presence of new pests. So there is some description of what we mean by extreme environment.
Okay, thank you very much. We have no further questions at the moment. Back to you, Panos.
Thank you very much. I think there is also a question related to the GRC participation. Is this, did I miss this question or? Yeah, because I think, yes, we have two questions which are related to the first topic. Unfortunately, our colleagues Hans Christian's left and he will not be in a position to reply. So I would advise the people who ask the question also to send this question in written, and we will try also to reply. And then this is a more generic, perhaps I don't know if Michael would like to reply on that.
Yes, this is indeed a horizontal question. Often it's not very clear how to involve the JRC when it is asked in the topic. So you can see the JRC has an interest in this topic, but there's no predefined role how this work will happen then. So there's also no need to contact the JRC at this stage when developing the proposal. This can be done after the successful proposal is selected. Then the JRC will have a look and see what will be in the scope of the project, and then they can decide whether they are joining the consortium or not. And this is the same for other projects, so it's not only for this topic. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Michael. I think, yes, indeed, this is the way that this collaboration will work. So there is no any specific modalities for the time being, but this will depend, first of all, to what extent the proposal is selected for funding, and then to what extent, GRC will, at the end, also indicate also an interest working. So this will be clarified later on. So as Michael said, there is no need to explore any links at this stage. I don't know if we have still any other question.
No.
Not yet. This seems not to be the case. I would tend perhaps also to reply to the first question on topic 01, if is about the regional the regional dimension. If I don't know if Virle could eventually also put also this question to what extent the question was to what extent also the topic should address also regional at the regional or local. So definitely there is no any obligation, there is no any specificity in the core text. It seems that both options are possible. So the according also to the text, you can see that projects should aim to support the strengthening of preferably local or regional secondary material markets. So that means that both applications are possible. So it is not necessarily to address the regional also scale, but of course the demonstration should be large in a possibility also to provide also the possibility to extract lessons learned for replications. And this is the general requirements for large-scale demonstration. So, but of course, then don't hesitate also to send this in writing, and so Hans Christian also will be also in a position also to reply more explicitly. Okay, then. If I think if there are no other questions, I think that we can try to close also this session. I think we had a very informative presentations. I would like then to thank very much, all the speakers for the presentation, but also, of course, thank very much the colleagues who helped us and make possible this info day. So the technical also staff, but also the colleagues who was behind the scene, who were also supporting, in particular also Virle for the handing of the Slido session. And of course, thank also the audience. Thank you for your attendance and also asking also these interesting questions. So again, as I said, if there are fields that you would like also to explore more, or if there are some unanswered questions, so send also this to the research inquiry. And with that, I would like also to wish you all and good luck for the preparation of your proposal. Thank you very much.